Hello and welcome to Alfons Zeileis. My name is Johanna Nagelsbach. I am the grandniece of the painter Alfons Zeileis. In 1917, the First World War is raging and bringing suffering to millions of people around the world. Fortunately, Alfons Zeileis has escaped it and is on the direct path to his future as a teacher. Things are also happening in his private life. Find out what they are in this video. In 1917, Alfons Zeileis was 30 years old and had been working as a teacher for a year. On 17th of June 1917, he writes a letter to the Bavarian State Ministry of the Interior for Church and Social Affairs, which is answered as early as 28th of June 1917 as follows. To the certified teacher candidate, Mr. Alfons Zeileis. They obviously couldn't read or write the L correctly at the Realschule am Donnersberg near Mannheim. On the basis of circumstances described above, you are offered the prospect of subsequent employment in the civil service on condition that you first work for a year as a trainee at a state institution. You want to indicate whether you still want to undergo this preparatory activity, whereupon you will be assigned to a suitable institution. Interesting question. How can Alfons Zeileis answer it except with a very firm yes? He became a trainee at the Oberrealschule Kaiserslautern from 1917 to 1918. He must have completed the traineeship alongside his teaching activities at the Weierhof, because he is listed as a drawing teacher in the annual reports until 1919. How fortunate that Mannheim is located directly on the railroad line to Kaiserslautern, making travel to Kaiserslautern no problem for Alfons Zeileis. On January 31st, 1918, Alfons Zeileis writes the following letter to his future sister-in-law, Johanna Nagelsbach, née Fleischmann. Dear sister-in-law, I would like to use this evening, which I have to spend away from my dear Elizabeth, to thank you for your kind wishes for our engagement. It pleased and honored me that you, the unknown sister of my beloved, found such warm sisterly words for me, the unknown. If I could justify your confidence, may I succeed in making Elizabeth as happy as she has made me. Excuse me, kind sister-in-law, for only now putting my thanks into words. It is so sweet and beautiful to look into the dear, kind eyes of my Elizabeth, and one so forgets all people and the whole world with their suffering, with my now extinguished suffering, that you must excuse me if only a forced separation makes me think of you, rather gives me the opportunity to fulfill the duty I have always felt and often discussed. Yes, we often thought of you and your loved ones, and we childishly believed that you would feel it yourself when we spoke fondly of you. Dear sister-in-law, do you also know what a rich, kind, true, selfless sister you have? It is so strange to me, always anew, incomprehensible, wonderful, how new and lovable and good the world now appears to me. I suffered a long, difficult, oppressive, misunderstood life. I longed for the high, the pure, the great, and I found piecemeal everywhere. I created it myself, and yet something still held me in this life. I did not know what it was. Let me still wait and endure. Then, suddenly, the moment came. I did not choose it or determine it, that I stepped before Elizabeth, revealed my need to her, kissed her. The moment shattered my whole life. Everything was dead that had tormented me. A dear, high, and yet so human being stood at my side, had reached out her hand to me, your sister. Dear sister-in-law, what came next was hard for your sister and for me. Christmas time was a quiet, melancholy, and yet so exciting time, but it prepared the happiness that we are now looking forward to. and how good it was for me to be welcomed so kindly and lovingly by you, by all your relatives, although no one knew me, no one knew anything about me. It was enough that Elizabeth had given me her love, her trust. And do I know more about myself? Everything I do, suffer, or enjoy is now real because Elizabeth is mine. I lose myself in the reverie. Forgive me, sister-in-law. My warmest greetings from your sister's bridegroom, Alfons. Thank you so much for listening to this indirect love letter with me. Isn't that wonderful? You will find out who Elizabeth is and what she has to do with Mannheim in the next video. I look forward to seeing you again.